make $10,000 a month from digital product sales, and you're going to watch me do it, starting with this video where I'm going to break down my exact plan and strategy to actually get there. Now, if you are new here, I am Fo, and I have been selling digital products since 2017 and doing online marketing since 2012. Over the past decade plus, I've helped dozens of other moms and women be able to make their first 4 and even 5 figures online with the help of digital products and online services. So with that said, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this, but I need to give you a little bit of context of where I'm starting right now. So I started selling digital products in the personal finance niche way back in 2017. But in 2022, I decided to completely overhaul my business model, discontinue selling digital products as my main source of income, and focus solely on high ticket coaching. Now, in the high ticket coaching space, making 10 to 20K plus months was normal. However, it came with a lot of stress, a lot of my time, and a lot of frustration, which is what most people don't talk about. So at the beginning of this year, I decided to burn it all down and completely start over. So after my last coaching cohort was done in March of this year, I literally was starting from zero. $0, not knowing exactly where I was going to be generating revenue from, but I knew that I had a particular set of skills that would enable me to be able to make money online. And so I completely pivoted back to my original business model, which was digital products and other forms of revenue, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So with that said, I started from scratch in April. The middle of April to the end of April, I made $173 in digital product sales. And then last month in May, I made over $3,200 in digital product sales. So obviously I want to scale that to $10,000 a month. And in order for me to do that, I'm going to start by looking at the data. So let's hop over to my screen. All right. So if we are just doing plain simple math, then we know that I need to basically 3.5x what I made in May. So let's start by figuring out exactly what I made in May, how I made it, and where those sales actually came from. So I am in my KPI and metrics dashboard, which I have in Airtable. If you guys are interested in the backend systems that I use to actually manage my business, let me know in the comments, and I may make these available somehow for you to use in your business as well. But I'm in my dashboard. As you can see, I have it filtered to the month of May, which was my highest month so far. As you can see, I made around $3,300 of sales from digital products. This isn't anything else that I make in my business. This is solely digital product sales from this YouTube channel. This does not include my personal finance stuff. This is just this YouTube channel. So as you can see, I'm able to filter by my products that I sold, and I can easily see which products had the most revenue. So from here, I can see my 1K and 90-day challenge, which was a beta launch of this 90-day challenge, generated the most revenue of all my products, followed by my passive sales system and then my product prompts. So with that said, now that I know the highest selling products, I need to understand where those sales actually came from so that I can double down on that traffic source. So generally at a high level, I can see that the majority of my sales came from YouTube. So 87.6% came from YouTube and about 11% came from email marketing, which I'm obviously not surprised by because that is exactly what I teach on this channel. Selling via YouTube and then ultimately selling again to customers via email. So I'm able to see exactly where those sales come from. Now I can drill down even deeper in my data to see exactly what videos drove the most sales. So I'm going to back out of this dashboard and I'm going to go to the actual data, and then I can drill down and actually see what videos had the most sales per video. Now this does not include the revenue that they generated from AdSense. This is just me being able to track per video where the sales are coming from. All right, so within my data, I can actually see which video generated the most amount of sales. So I have one video that's truly leading the pack, and that's generated over $1,000 directly from that video. And then as you can see, there are some others that have generated sales, which were probably published at a later date. So the longer they go on, obviously the more money that they will make. Now, here's the good news about this. From this data, I can double down on those types of videos. So what I'm going to do as a part of my plan is I'm going to look at what that video was, and I'm essentially going to replicate the thumbnail style of that video, the topic of that video, and then the overall structure of that video, and then whatever I was selling in it. So this gives me a good baseline of what content I need to create to be able to generate more sales. So looking at which videos got the top sales and then just replicating those over again. So that is going to be the first part of my strategy. However, I think it's important to mention that there is only so much that I can control in this scenario. I can't control how many views I get, and I ultimately cannot control how many people from that video actually convert into customers. So although I'm going to do my best to replicate the same scenarios and to try to generate the same results, at the end of the day, the only thing that I can control is being able to replicate the thumbnail, being able to replicate the topic, and then posting on the same cadence that I have previously done in the month of May. So this is a good place to start. So if you are new to digital products and you're trying to figure out what should I do if I want to increase my sales, one, you're going to have to be able to track your data to know where the sales are coming from. But once you know that, if you know the specific video, you can then try to replicate that video. So for this month, I've already started creating some of those videos that mimic the ones that are producing sales. So I've already kind of started on this plan, but I did want you to see my thought process for how I come up with more video ideas. I'm simply looking at what's working, and I can see that there's a major outlier. So of course, I'm going to replicate that video, the style, the topic, and all those things. So that's the first place I'm going to start. But like I said, I can't control the views. I can't control what YouTube does. I can't control any of those things. So I also need to focus on the elements that I can control. Now, originally, when we looked at the chart, I saw what products sold the most. It was my 90-day challenge, which is a course and a community together. I sold my product prompts, and then also my passive sales system, which is pretty much a funnel, a pre-built funnel. So knowing that, there are some levers that I can control on the side of my products. I can't control YouTube, the views, and all those things, but I can control my products. For instance, I can raise the price of my products. Knowing that I'm already getting the traffic, I already have the volume, I know that I can raise the price of my products and be able to generate more income on the same amount of sales that I'm getting now. So that's one way. It's not necessarily the thing that I actually want to do, but I know that there is an opportunity there. And I may eventually raise the price on these products because I know that they're selling. I know that there is demand. Therefore, I could probably raise the price and be able to increase how much I'm making. So the highest converting product that I had based on like the number of people who came to the checkout page and actually purchased was actually my 90-day challenge. Now, my 90-day challenge is a course and community we hosted in school. I did a beta launch of this just to see if people were interested in the topic and if people would actually buy. Now that I've validated this product, I know that it has demand. I know that it has interest. I can now do two things. I can raise the price because it's no longer beta and people are beginning to get results. And therefore, I'm able to market those results to help sell the product. But also now I can make this evergreen. So currently it's in a cohort model where I had a group of beta people enroll in it, and so that I can kind of validate the offer and see if people are interested in. Now I know that people are interested in it, in the topic, and I validated this is something that I can offer on evergreen, meaning I'm allowing people to come in every single day. So the best way and the simplest, cleanest way for me to get to that 10K mark will be to make this an evergreen offer and not just offer it on a cohort basis, meaning I am able to sell it every single day and it can become the main offer that I actually sell, as opposed to trying to get more volume on the smaller ticket items, on the lower price items. This product not only converts the highest, but it is actually priced the highest, meaning I'm able to make more money per transaction. And I know that there's a demand for it. So if I just focus on actually selling this product more, I'd be able to easily get to that 10K per month threshold. So based on the data, I'm able to see that I'm going to maintain the consistency of my YouTube videos. I know exactly what topics I need to focus on and what I need to sell in those videos. So the first thing that I'm going to do is double down on what's working on YouTube. So at a minimum from those digital products, I'm going to maintain and eventually grow the sales on those products. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make my challenge evergreen. So instead of doing a cohort model where I'm only opening it every 90 days or every quarter, I am going to make that evergreen. Now, this isn't something that I can pull immediately. We are currently going through the first round of this challenge. So it's going to take about 3 months before I'm actually able to make this something that's evergreen. But I know down the road, eventually in 3 months, this is something that I can make evergreen and that I can eventually build up to be one of the main drivers for hitting that 10K per month revenue mark. Now, I mentioned that there are some other ways that I'm able to make money that aren't necessarily digital products. So in addition to selling my digital products, I'm also generating ad revenue. So as I am creating those videos that are going to get views and creating those videos that I'm going to sell from, I'm also going to generate ad revenue from it as well. So YouTube is actually paying me to post videos on the platform. So I'm getting paid for both the product and I'm getting paid by YouTube from AdSense revenue. So that's going to be another stream of income. I'm not necessarily counting it as my digital product revenue, but know that that's also going to be additional revenue that I'm able to generate in my business. And that could fluctuate month by month, which is why I'm not counting it towards my 10K goal, but that's something that I can at least count on making some income from. The other thing that I'm able to make income from is going to be affiliate commission. So some of my videos, I don't even sell my own products. I'm actually mentioning products that I use that I have affiliate relationship with. So that means that if someone purchases the product or they enroll into the product or use it, I'm able to get a commission at no additional cost to them. So that's another way I'm able to generate money. Similar to the ad revenue, is not very consistent. So many factors go into play on how affiliate revenue works. Again, another reason why I don't count it in the 10K goal that I have. So that's my overall plan. It's nothing complicated. It really all just starts with the data, looking at what's currently working, what has worked in the past, and figuring out how can I scale that up? How can I multiply what I've done in order to get the results? And it really is just focusing on what's in my control. I can control the price of my offers. I can control how often I post videos, how often I send out emails. That's all I can control. I can't control how many views I get, but those are the things I can control. Now, here's the thing. In the past, I have run ads. So I know there will be a group of people who are like, well, why don't you just run ads so that you can have consistent volume and traffic if you know your conversion rates? I've run ads before and they aren't always profitable. So I would rather put in time and effort posting YouTube videos that are going to pay me and knowing that the volume can fluctuate versus paying for traffic that could also fluctuate, but I may not get a return. So in my opinion, in this scenario, I know I could run ads, but from a profitability perspective, creating these YouTube videos that actually pay me is going to be the best route. So I'm going to be able to make more profit. And then I know long term, all of this is going to compound over time. So as I'm trying to get to that 10K mark, all of that work is going to compound and eventually I'll surpass the 10K. And as I continue to create these videos and to sell these products and promote them, everything's going to compound and I'm going to well exceed $10,000 per month. So this is my plan for getting to 10K months with my digital products. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you want to get on the wait list for my 90-day challenge, then by all means, click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to get on that wait list. But let me know, what is your goal for your digital products? And do you have the data to support it? What's your plan? I want to know. Now, if you want to know my whole process and my system for actually selling my digital products from YouTube, check out this next video.